Hello, what's going on, guys? I am NumbNexus, bringing you guys here our first showcase moveset series. I'll be talking about all the brand new mods making movesets on with it, and you might see some other moveset videos as well, since now Showdown actually has them implemented on the Showdown website. I was waiting for Showdown to actually put it on the site, which could be more visually easier for you guys, you know? So of course, if you guys enjoy, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. We found these sets to be helpful as well. Definitely make sure to share out these videos so anybody else can just learn how to use Necrozma. I think that's how you say his name. I was pronouncing it Necrozma. That sounds cool as shit, but his name is Necrozma. He is a Pokemon from Sun and Moon, obviously, of course. He plays a role. I'm trying to be very subtle with it. But he's definitely a brand new Pokemon that we also Core officially revealed him, so no loss there. He is a Psychic type Pokemon, and the unfortunate part about him, first off, let's talk about his weaknesses, his flaws and stuff like that. The unfortunate part about him is he is a pure Psychic type Pokemon, right? But and his stats are decent. Look at him. The stats are pretty decent, but unfortunately enough, he really can't kill Dark type Pokemon. He has a lack of fighting moves that he learns. Brick Break is honestly one of his best fighting moves, is the crazy thing. Hidden Power fighting as well, obviously, because all Pokemon can learn the hidden powers, and well, look, that's it. That's genuinely it. So killing, you can Hidden Power Bug and X-Scissor as well for killing dark types, but it's difficult. You know, you can just run X-Scissor as well if you really just don't like using Brick Break, which I personally would recommend, 75 versus 80, so I would definitely go with the X-Scissor. Brick Break can keep, break screens if you didn't know that, but the unfortunate part about it is it's very difficult for this Pokemon to kill other dark types, and the unfortunate part about that too is Dark is super effective against Psychic, if you didn't know. You'd be surprised. I'm pointing out all this stuff because there's gonna be a lot of people coming into the competitive community or coming into Pokemon having absolutely no idea what beats what and knowing nothing about Pokemon. Someone's gonna be huge, so I'm pointing out this stuff to help people. So here are a few sets that I came up with, and you can clearly see Bisharp and Heatran there for a reason. I'll get into that later on. But first things, talking about Necrozma. I got this cool set, and you can use them on Showdown again. Like I said, they're not in the full set, but it is on a certain server. I'm gonna be on there soon. But let's get back to the set. I have this Atomize set. It's a really cool Atomize set. It's basically a Atomize, which if you don't know what that does, it will scroll up here. It raises the speed by 2. So. And you also lose 100 kilograms in weight. So, hey, so you become a lot lighter. Good stuff. But you basically become double the speed. You get +2 speed every time you use it. And then I think about this is you essentially bring it in. You get a safe switch into it, an example. A safe switch in. And you take a super effective move because the item weakness policy gives you +2 in both stages of attack and special attack. The nice thing about that is it does that, and then you gain +2 speed and +2 special attack and +2 physical attack, all within having absolutely no items. So that also means that knockoff won't be doing as much as well. So that's huge. That is actually huge. And then I think about its ability to Prism Armor is essentially soundproof. Not soundproof. What was it? Filter. Mega Aggron has it as well. It reduces the damage of super effective moves, and you could tell the Pokemon receives 3/4 damage from super effective moves. He's pretty significant. He's taking knockoff better than a lot of other Psychic types out there, and he can just take all of these super effective moves, and that's why I gave him weakness policy, because weakness policy is an item that boosts your stats when you hit with a super effective move. And when you have this ability that weakens super effective moves, by golly, put in weakness policy. I will do the exact same thing with Rhyperior. He has Solid Rock, so he can take super effective moves a little better. And weakness policy, Rock Polish, 3 attacks. Rhyperior is a pretty fucking cool set, and when you have this set right here, trust me, look at its HP and look at its defense stat. With this ability, it's pretty freaking bulky, naturally bulky overall, and then the ability overall then again helps its bulk even better. You know, taking these knockoffs, these U-turns, 2 very common moves right there in the meta. One initiative and one where it completely changes the tide of a game, moving your item. He's one of the best moves in the game. And then all these other, I guess, moves you want to consider as well. Shadow Ball, Priority Shadow Sneak, Sucker Punch as well, which got nerfed in this meta. All of that, he can take pretty decently well, a lot better than he would without his ability because of that. And running weakness policy with Prism Armor is actually pretty fucking good. Now, the EV spread is like very basic, very decent. You don't really need to think too much within it. All you need to do is jump it into max speed, timid nature, 2v2 speed. His speed stat is the lowest stat that he has, so you definitely want to put that much speed into it. And I would honestly, I had modest before, but I've tested that out, and you kind of want to run timid, that way that you can outspeed some mons, because some scarfers can outspeed you. Hang on, let me not sound stupid. After +2, if you can do actually the math right here, you could do 282. Okay, my calculator's not on screen now. 282, which is max speed, and you multiply that, but the speed boost you'd be getting, so you're multiplying that by 2, and then your speed stat would be sitting at 564. So yeah, no, what the fuck was I talking about? No scarfies will outspeed you. You're definitely chilling. You could actually go modest if you wanted to too, and if you want modest, you'd be at 257. And if you did 257 multiplied by 2, you actually be sitting at 514. Again, pretty threatening if you also face other mons with setup speeds, Quiver Dance users. Definitely, since for Moveset, definitely gain Quiver Dance. Some other mons get some type of speed stat as well. Rock Polish, and a lot of other mons got a Totemize, as well as Dragon Dance Kamo. You'd have to get a few up though as well though, because his is +1 every turn, whereas yours is +2. It's up to you, honestly. You could honestly go modest or timid. Modest definitely for more power. Timid just in case if you face another Necrozma, or Necrozma, I should say. That's why, again, I'm also jumping most of this investment within speed as well. That way that you can kind of have a speed war. You know, they call it a speed tie, essentially, where you're facing another Pokemon with the same speed stat, or another Pokemon that actually ends up with the same amount of EVs, 282, so another mon ending up with 282 as well. You would try and win the speed tie there. So it's pretty basic set. Again, like I said, it's pretty basic set. 2v2 special attack, 2v2 speed, 4 special defense. Pretty basic. Just there. Honestly, no, because I clicked this. It was in physical defense. There we go. I don't know why I was in there. Because I clicked this. That's why. Sometimes Showdown will automatically recommend this shit to you. And add 4 in special defense, like stop. But again, it's a pretty basic set. Moving on to the next one now, though, we have this Life Orb set. It's basically kind of similar to the first set, except you don't have the weakness policy of Totemize here. You're more along of a Stealth Rock 3 attack set. You probably hear that within the meta a lot. It's a mon that can put up hazards and then have 3 offensive moves. They're the name. Offensive Rocker. So I know Garchomp sometimes can run this as well, so I figured, hey, wait a minute, it can actually work out on Necrozma as well. Because Necrozma, I put 240 with Timid, this way that you actually can be able to outspeed an Adamant, or not an Adamant, I'm sorry, hold on, wait a minute, what the fuck am I talking about? You outspeed, actually, I should say Jolly and Adamant Bisharp, which is going to be pretty annoying, again, to fight this thing, since its lack of fighting moves is going to make it very difficult for Necrozma to be handling itself against dark types. And one of the most common dark types in OU meta, Bisharp, I figured, hey, let's be able to guarantee to outspeed this, as well as you outspeed Timid Heatran, another mon, because Heatrans are commonly ran timid sometimes with Stealth Rock and other sets like that, so Stealth Rock, Lava Plume, all that type of shit, Magnum Storm, all of that with the Heatran sets. So I figured, hey, wait a minute, why... This is so embarrassing, guys. When you leave Showdown on your tab like this, sometimes it fucks with your investments, bro. Hang on. You typically want to have an odd amount of investments as well. There you go. Now I outspeed it by 1 point. You typically want to have an odd amount of investment too on your HP stat. That way that you can come in on rocks a little more. So there's a little 4 left over. Just chunk it in defense to take knockoff a little better. Just chunk it in there. But again, it's a little similar to this, but then also it's kind of not. So I'm gonna say it's not. If you just want to have somebody that wants to put up Stealth Rock, but you don't like, maybe sometimes they wouldn't expect it. Like I know a lot of people get caught off guard when they see like if they aren't really too used to the meta and they be like, oh, Jane's using Stealth Rocks. Oh, people using Stealth Rocks. Oh, Bishop using Stealth Rocks. Please don't do that. It does not exist. So, you know, kind of catch them off guard as well. They can kind of see that maybe if you have a rocker on your team, they may not expect this thing to be the rocker. So it's safe if you just want to put up rocks like Garrus Regardless, which are a very good entry hazard. It's a very good entry hazard. It shuts down so many mons that are quad weak to it. Talonflame, Charizard is about to become Mega, Volcarona, all this type of stuff. It's very, very important to have on the opposite side of the team. So definitely. Dark Pulse as well, I guess, just to kind of handle opposing psychic types. Again, stab psychic, and you want to run the hidden power fighting. That way you can be able to kill stuff like Tyranitar and Bisharp and Weavile. Because if you don't run that fighting stab, but you run something else, you run a steel move or something like that, fighting stab. I'm sorry, it's late. If you don't run this fighting move, or any type of fighting move, hidden power fighting, break, anything, you're gonna be able to be completely walled out by like Bisharp, Weavile, Hydreigon, Tyranitar, all these dark types you will be walled out by. So you definitely want to be able to run a fighting move. So run that shit. Run that shit. So yeah, like I said, again, I explained this. You're gonna be able to outspeed max speed Heatran this way, which is actually a very common mon within the OU meta, which I think he'll definitely be around the OU meta. So that's just what I think. It's where I stand. So again, a very common mon within the OU meta too, if anything, and you outspeed the both of them. So that's pretty niche, pretty cool. Now we got this cool leftover set. I figured this would be a cool set to run. We have a Calm Mind set right here, and I really liked it because the moment I saw the thing have like very reliable recovery, I was definitely intrigued with this Pokemon. Like, it's one of my favorite mons from this generation because of how interesting it is. When you play the story, you'll find out more about what the hell this thing is. But it gets two forms of recovery. It gets Moonlight, as well as it also gets Morning Sun. So that's actually really cool. I like that a lot. Again, there's literally no difference between the two of them. Heal the user by weather dependent amount. Same thing with Morning Sun. Heal the user by weather dependent amount. So there really isn't a difference. I guess it's up to you which one you really want to run. I'll leave that at that. But the important move here, Calm Mind, again, lefties for recovery. The Prism Armor is, again, such a good ability that's going to be helping out this Pokemon take hits. That if it has this good, reliable recovery and reliable setup as well, it sounds too good to be true, and they just kind of made it to where it's difficult for this mon to fight dark types. So running Calm Mind would be pretty good. It's a good bulky offensive mon right here. You get bulky offensive set. If you run the Calm Mind, it gives you a +1 in special attack and special defense. That's why I didn't put anything in special defense. I chunked everything into physical defense this way that you can be able to take so many hits. Even in some mon set up on you, you can take so many hits. And again, this Pokemon is very powerful. Without any investment in special attack, it peaks at 289. So after +1, you're already over 300, which you'll then have like 3 stats over 300. This thing is, again, very powerful, and it's going to be dishing out a lot of damage. Now, again, another thing that's going to suck with Cripples, I guess this set, I guess you could do. Again, it's 6v6, so in a way you could just kind of kill the Pokemon that stop you from sweeping, and then you sweep. Okay, that mindset, having that in competitive mons, is very important. So you're probably looking at the set saying, wow, Psychic types absolutely wall this, and an opposing Necrozma absolutely walls this. You could kind of pick this one on yourself then. You could honestly go between HP Fight, or you could even go Dark Pulse. I'm just going to put that in because sometimes people watch the sound. You could do Dark Pulse as well. I guess kind of run that. That's kind of on you. Let me just type that out. HP Fight, Dark Pulse. So again, you could go Hidden Power Fighting or Dark Pulse. Honestly, that one is kind of on you to where which one you're more threatened of. And I guess kind of your team coverage as well. How well do you have your weaknesses covered? If you run like a fighting type Pokemon alongside us, like a Mega Medicham or something like that, then reality then, you may not even need to run Hidden Power Fighting. You could just run Dark Pulse. And then again, if you're running a Dark type Pokemon like Bisharp, like Weavile, then hey, or like a Mega Gyarados, and hey, you don't even need to run Dark Pulse. You can stay with the Hidden Power Fight. And again, the Pokemon like Bisharp or Tyranitar, which can be somewhat of good switch-ins within this Necrozma, since of the lack of bug and fight moves to kill off these dark types, you can knock those Pokemon out before you start setting up, which could make it a little easier for you. So again, a pretty cool set here. It's dishing out some cool damage, and once put into the right hands and once you're properly set up, this thing can actually sweep. So 2 super sets so far of different formats, and then I guess 1 offensive rocker. And then last, of course, the last set here. I like this one, my personal favorite. I've used it a lot already within kind of the Gen 7 beta ladder, is a Choice Banded set. Now, I can't sleep. His physical attack stat is actually pretty bobo stupid high. It's 107, definitely not the 127, but again, still, that's pretty good, 107. And you can see it peaks out at 313 when it's not even adamant. If you're adamant, it's literally peaking out at almost 350, which is huge. So you're probably wondering, again, the investment here. So let me go ahead and explain this. Oops. Let me go ahead and explain this. With Timid, you're going to be able to do outspeed. Again, like I said, Timid Heatran. If you look through here, his speed set is about 79. The good way, I guess, you can kind of figure out on what you exactly want to outspeed is his speed set is 79. So you're gonna have to look through what's, again, pretty prevalent and common within the OU meta. Stuff like Excadrill. You're not outspeeding that no matter what you do, because he has base 88 speed. Stuff also like Chomp, you're not outspeeding. Mega Gardevoir, you're just not outspeeding. Things like that, you just kind of accept that you don't outspeed. But Mons kind of like Tran, Mega Heracross, of course. Freaking what else could you look into this? Kind of scrolling down here, you can also look, you can outspeed Mons like Magearna, Magnezone, non-speed fully invested Manaphy, which is the bold set. A lot of Mons like that. Defensive Mew, you can outspeed a lot of Mons like that. Actually, hang on, let me not sound stupid here, because defensive Mew sometimes runs some stuff. But again, you can. That's kind of how you figure out some things you want to run. 236. So yeah, if we look back at that, sometimes when Mew doesn't run any speed investment, 279. So defensive Mew is outsped. So it's kind of how you figure out stuff like that and what you want to outspeed. And this thing is definitely going to be outspeeding the two things that are definitely going to be pretty annoying to it, since you need fighting moves to kill them. So yeah, Choice Bandage set, dishing out a lot of damage yet again. He has a pretty good coverage on his Choice Bandage set. Brutal Swing is a brand new move introduced within his generation. I first saw Beware use it. It doesn't have any effects, but it hits the adjacent Pokemon, so that's really it. It's a base 60 power move. You could honestly also run Night Slash as well, which actually does more damage. So I actually do recommend you run Night Slash. You can run Brutal Swing if you want, but again, that's on you. It's a new move, so if you want to use it just because new move, then by all means go ahead. Smart Strike. It's a pretty good steel move that he learns. It's a physical steel move with a base power of 70, and it says this move does not check accuracy. It's Aerial Ace. You're never missing this move. So if you're tired of RNG, and if it annoys you, then by all means, choose a Thor Flash Cannon with the Bandit set, and definitely run this, because you're not missing it. Like, there's no way you're ever missing it. So that's very fucking cool. Psycho Cut here, 100% accuracy, 70 base stab move. Gonna have the chance to crit. It's Pokemon. And then, of course, Earthquake. This move is already pretty fucking good, because, I mean, it has so much coverage, and it gets so many Mons. And regardless, even if it's not super effective, it's dishing out a lot of damage. It's the 100 base power move. So, there you go. That's my coverages again for Necrozma. If you see any sets that you have found within your own that are not on this video, by all means, I'm not a perfect man. I'm just giving my sets here in my small little tidbit of experience I've had for about an hour and a half playing on here, as well as whatchamacallit, just what I will go through my head. So again, if you have any sets that you want to actually recommend, by all means leave them in the comments down below, because again, these are just what I think. I'm not the most detailed, but I definitely get it out there. But yeah, that's it. I'll definitely be doing more throughout the week, guys, and throughout the day as well. So thank you for watching. I am NumbNexus. I'm gonna get out of here. Goodbye.